1992. On Your Side Tonight with Jamie Bowl starts now.
The eyes of the golf world are on South Charlotte for the President's Cup. The sport benefiting from a pandemic-fueled resurgence. But will the momentum be sustained?
All along, we were not only surprised, but we still to this day kind of question how long is it going to last.
Back-to-back days of local school interruptions, threats of violence, leaving students and their parents uneasy.
Coming here, seeing the police, seeing the helicopters overhead, it's just really concerning and a little bit scary.
Also tonight, need a loan? It's going to cost you more. Federal Reserve bumps interest rates once again. Also, it might sound like a futuristic experience, but yeah, robots are delivering food on a local college campus. We're going to walk you through how that works. And West Nile is back. So is it preventable? Good question. Tonight, we are getting you answers. Good evening and welcome to On Your Side Tonight. I'm Jamie Bowl, and tonight our Alex Giles is standing by with our top stories, or if news breaks, Rachel Coulter, you see her there in the First Alert Weather Center. She will get us up to date on the forecast. Lots to talk about there as well. We begin tonight by getting you up to date on all that has happened today. We call it 7 at 7, and Alex Giles is here with the 7 biggest stories of the day. Alex.
We all have busy lives.
Yep.
Let's recap for people some of the big headlines, Jamie. Locally and across the country, this is a troubling trend at schools this week. Students and staff sent out of the classrooms because of threats. 8 schools across 4 of our local school districts have received threats or have been placed on lockdown this weekend. Our education reporter, Courtney Cole, was in Mecklenburg County, where 2 schools received threats today.
It's the 3rd day in a row where several schools in our area have been the target of threats. Police say these threats were false, but they are still being taken very seriously. Making a threat against a school is a Class H felony, and you can go to prison for up to 39 months. Law enforcement agencies in Iredell, Mecklenburg, Cabarrus, and Gaston County are investigating threats made against or near their schools this week. I spoke to our WBTV security analyst, Carl De La Guerra, who says he's noticed a majority of threats to schools are hoaxes, but that doesn't mean all of them are.
They have to be taken seriously, regardless of how many of these calls come in that are proven to be hoaxes. You can't ever assume.
All students and staff are safe, and these investigations are ongoing. Reporting near North Mecklenburg High School, Courtney Cole, WBTV, On Your Side.
And we appreciate Courtney's up there. There's a scary situation here. 3 people had to go to the hospital after an early morning crash. School bus and a Charlotte area transit system bus, both part of that wreck. This happened off Randolph Road. Well, investigators say the CATS driver suffered a medical emergency. The driver's bus crossed lanes, hit the school bus, as you can see here. Thankfully, no students were on that school bus. They weren't hurt. Everyone involved expected to be okay. An update to a breaking story we brought you Tuesday, an officer-involved shooting in Burke County. Highway Patrol says Keisha Michelle Brown was part of multiple hit-and-run collisions before this all went down. She kidnapped a driver and drove on I-40, according to state troopers. Once Highway Patrol caught up with Brown, they tell us she fired shots from the bed of that truck. Highway Patrol had a sergeant that shot back and hit that woman. Today, we learned her name, Keisha Michelle Brown. We're still trying to get more background information about that wild situation. Investigators say they are still trying to piece together everything that happened. Tonight, one local police officer healing up after chasing someone last night. It all went down in East Charlotte on Albemarle Road. Police are telling us that at the time, officers were looking for someone. They found that person, but then the person took off. Police started chasing. The officer who was hurt is expected to be okay. And we knew this could be coming. Today it happened. The Fed has raised interest rates again. Rates are jumping another 0.75 percentage point. Of course, higher interest rates mean higher borrowing costs for all Americans. That impacts credit cards, cars, student loans, retirement savings, and homes. And the streak is over. After dropping every day for more than 3 months, the average price of a gallon of gas just went up. The average only jumped by a penny. It is now $3.68. AAA says this ends 98 consecutive days of prices falling at the pump. We had to check what you're paying at the pumps here in the Carolinas. Right now, the average cost for a tank of gas in North Carolina, $3.35. South Carolina, $3.24. And let's end with this. Not an issue you hear about every day in TKK, but they've got a deer problem down there. There are so many deer in the area that local leaders are trying to figure out what to do with all of them. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources just did a study last week and told city officials there are more than 840 deer in the area. So if you're someone who lives down there, hasn't encountered them yet, this is your heads up to be on alert, Jamie.
Yeah, and we're going to follow up on that story coming up in a little bit later on, because one of the options they're talking about has a lot of people talking.
Right.
Sharpshooters, those sorts of things. So why they're doing that, more on those numbers, that's coming coming up in our second half hour, so we want folks to stick around for that.
Certainly.
Alex, appreciate the update. Let's get you updated on the forecast right now.
Yes.
A little warm out there today, wasn't
is.
it? Yeah, let's find out what is in store as fall approaches. Rachel Coulter in the First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, fall starts tomorrow. Now, will it feel like fall tomorrow? Likely not. But by tomorrow evening, we're going to start to notice some changes. It really was a very warm day. We were about 10 degrees above average. Ended up hitting 91 degrees in Charlotte this afternoon. Now back into the mid 80s, but it is still plenty warm as you start off those evening plans. The entire area running anywhere from those mid 70s in Salisbury and Boone to those low to mid 80s. For the rest of us, 80 degrees in Lenore and Morganton. 84 for those of you tuning in from Rock Hill. Temperatures will stay in the 80s for the next couple of hours. Eventually the 70s will wake up to the 60s. Even 60-degree low temperatures forecast for those of you tuning in from our higher elevations. Tomorrow afternoon, upper 70s for the mountains, low to mid 90s. So it's going to be even hotter tomorrow afternoon ahead of the cold front that's going to change everything up. And we're going to notice that cold front when it's moving through. I can't rule out a stray shower, maybe even a rumble of thunder or two, but those winds are going to be picking up as well, especially behind the front. And that's what's going to be ushering in the cooler temperatures, the drier conditions. How long will they last? And of course, there's a lot going on in the tropics right now. I'll have a full breakdown of your 7-day forecast, the tropical update, in just a few minutes, James.
Lots to talk about. Rachel, we'll see you in a few minutes. I did a double take here. I bet a lot of people did. New tonight, a local university rolling out a new high-tech way to deliver food to students on campus. Wbtv's Cam Gaskins live at Winthrop University in Rock Hill, and he has more on this futuristic food service. What's going on here, Cam?
Yeah, futuristic is definitely the word to use here. We're on the campus of Winthrop University, and I want to introduce you guys to a little friend that I made today. Let's get a nice shot of my little buddy here. This is a Kiwi bot. Isn't he cute? He's got his little eyes. He's smiling. He was talking earlier. I think he's a little camera shy right now. But this is now the new state-of-the-art way that Winthrop Dining Services is delivering food to students and faculty right here on campus. There are 15 of these little guys that are going all around campus, and they are fully automated to know the ins and outs of the sidewalks and the streets here on campus, being able to give students a safe and contact-free way to get dining hall food delivered right to their door. One of the representatives from the dining services told me today that these things are very safe and eco-friendly. They're not emitting any toxins into the air, and also it doesn't really hurt that these things are just really cute as well.
As far as the bots, they're just a cute thing, for one. Every student, I swear, has said that they're cute. But also, they are eco-friendly, so they're not emitting anything toxic into the air. So that's something that the university and Sodexo really partners with, of being good to the earth. So that's one of the nice things about it as well.
So I know what you guys are thinking now. The big question, and no, these robots do not have names yet. Roxy Flory was telling me they might open up a little contest to the students later to name these things. And speaking of the students, later on tonight at 11, we'll hear from some of them on their reactions and responses to these weird little guys roaming around campus. So we'll hear more from them later on tonight. Live at Winthrop University, I'm Cam Gaskins, WBTV News on your side.
Just when you think you've seen it all. I've heard of the freshman, 15 when you go on campus. This might be the freshman 20 if food is that easy to arrive at your dorm room. Cam, we'll see you at 11 o'clock. Coming up next here on Your Side Tonight.
It was not by design, but it was really kind of checked all of the boxes that we really needed to be a safe activity during COVID.
For years, golf lost popularity, but the pandemic brought players back to the course. The resurgence of golf in Charlotte. It's tonight's cover story.
And we've been talking about this all week long. That dramatic drop in temperature, that arrives tomorrow night. And of course, it's really